Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Sharon Gao Show. The Sharon Gao Show is a space where I have conversations with brilliant minds passionate about nutrition, well-being, and healthy living. Transform your health. You can transform your life. So today our guest is beautiful Sandra Michele. And Sandra is a certified holistic health coach and mindset coach specializing in hormone health. She works one-on-one with the clients to help them increase energy and lose resistant weight by lowering inflammation and balancing hormones. She is also a passionate advocate of safer beauty products. She started detoxifying her life after her mother was diagnosed with cancer. She learned of overall lack of regulations in the beauty industry. She also came to find that the ingredients in our beauty and personal care products can directly impact our health. So it was at this time that she gradually made the move to safer, cleaner, and non-toxic products. So today we are so lucky to have her here to share her tips and tricks for how you can do the same. So welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to join you today.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So our topic today is about how to make the switch to the cleaner and safer products. So we know there are strong correlations between toxic products and chronic disease such as autoimmune disease, cancer, and other chronic disease. So can you tell us more why we need to stay away from toxic products?
Yeah, that's an excellent point. So there are so many reasons why the argument could be made as to why we should make the switch to cleaner and safer, like personal care and beauty products. You mentioned a few, and really the effects that they have on our health really range across this broad spectrum. So an individual could experience symptoms that are as mild as like an allergic reaction. So let's say maybe a rash, like a patch of skin that you have that's a little red, maybe a little irritated. And it can range from that to a negative impact on your reproductive health. Or you mentioned autoimmune. There could be the onset of an autoimmune condition all the way to links that have been made to cancer. So I think it's important for everyone to get a little more curious about what ingredients are going into making the products that we're putting on our body.
Yeah, definitely, because we always emphasize about foods we eat, like foods we put in our mouth. It's probably more direct for us to understand, okay, we need to put healthier stuff, cleaner stuff in our mouth, but we sort of ignore the things that we use on our skin, right, or wash here, but actually skin is big organ, right? It's direct and impact our health. So we really need to pay attention, what kind of things we use, daily, because the toxins, they can accumulate while it gets to amount of stuff, and then definitely it will does, big harms, right?
Yeah, Sharon, I love that you said that because in this day and age, I think more so now than ever, many of us are striving to live a healthier life, whatever that may look like for you, right? It may be a more holistic life. You may be doing your part to eat well. Let's say, for example, that means introducing more organic and locally sourced products, more whole foods or plant-based products into your diet. You may be exercising or placing an emphasis on moving your body in ways that feel good to you, right? And other modalities that you can be using. But I think I was guilty of this, and so many of us don't stop to think of the impact that our personal care products could be having. So you may be doing all the things, right?
Yeah.
And you may still be having these symptoms that are unexplainable. You could be having hives or migraines. You could be experiencing migraines regularly, or uncomfortable and more severe PMS symptoms, and never really stop to
Thinking.
think and make the connection,
Mm-hmm.
right? So something that I learned when I was really getting curious and trying to educate myself, and something that I want to share with you and hopefully your viewers, it was something that left a big impact on me, is that in our country, in the US right now, there are approximately 11 chemicals that have been banned by the US for use in our cosmetics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the European Union, or commonly referred to as the EU, they have banned over 1,300 chemicals in beauty and cosmetic products that are sold in their countries. And it really left me questioning, because for so long, I think that I just assumed that if this product is being marketed to me, it has to be safe.
Right. It just be like, because it's already past the regulation, whatever on the regulations, right? Because
Right.
especially with on the commercials, and we see every day, they just only emphasize like the effects, whatever, like it will make you feel like with the shampoo, right? They just use these products, your hair will look beautiful, like silk, whatever. But like you said, exactly for me, that I also haven't like questioned on these products. It's more of like, okay, I saw that advertisement and I'm buying it because it looks beautiful. But then I start realizing, like especially for hair products, I'll start losing hair. Well,
Mm.
yeah. So it's like, what's happening to me? I'm eating very healthy, right? I'm doing exercise. I'm very paying attention to what I put in my mouth, and then I started realizing, maybe it's the hair products that I'm using. So I switched around, like I was sharing with my friends, like switch one with coconut oil, like instead of using conditioners, that commercial conditioners we buy from stores. And it just totally changed. I mean, my hair looks much better, like healthier. And I just realized, wow, what a big thing it is, that it is so important for us to really understand what's going on with the products that we use daily. So yeah, absolutely. So thank you so much. It's so fun to really understand, like have this kind of mindset, right? To realize and to take in control of our situation, not just led by the commercials and daily things and what other people tell us to do. So you were talking about earlier about like there are some ingredients like are banned in Europe, right? So what are the top 3 ingredients that we should avoid in skincare and cosmetics? I know there probably are many, right? So if we just say name 3, one on the top 3 ingredients.
Yeah. So for me, personally, and again, when I was starting to get curious about this and, asking more questions about the products that I was putting on my body, and now that I'm sharing some of that knowledge, I really am trying to encourage people to go slow, to give themselves some grace. I never want someone to feel like they need to throw out all of their products and start fresh. Maybe try incorporating 1 or 2 new products into your routine, right? And so when you're just getting started and you're learning to read labels, there are so many ingredients that go into some of the simplest products. You can really start to feel overwhelmed. A lot of them are have scientific names and they're difficult to pronounce.
It's
So my
so
top,
overwhelming to read ingredients of beauty products like skincare, for example, cosmetics. I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's a long list of the names that I cannot even make sense of it. Like, what are they? It's really overwhelming for sure.
yeah, and you're not alone in that. And sometimes it's just easier to stick with what you know and just continue using the products that you have on hand versus, going into a deep, rabbit hole doing Google research. So what I like to tell people, just to start, and if this feels comfortable and good to you, what I would try to eliminate first, one would be parabens. Okay, so parabens are, they have been linked to being hormone disruptors, and they've actually also been linked to breast cancer. So, that's something that is really serious, and I think it's worth taking a look at. So you will find parabens in so many different products, but basically what parabens do is they act as like a antimicrobial, essentially extending the shelf life of a product. So they help to slow the growth of like bacteria, let's say, in a lotion that you
When
use.
the products can stay on the counter longer, right? So
Correct,
yeah.
correct. And so they can, damage your reproductive system. Like I mentioned earlier, disrupt your hormones, and even parabens have even been found in some studies in the tissue, the breast tissue of some survivors of breast cancer. So, your body, and you mentioned this earlier, like it really is about a cumulative, right? It's about the products that
You
you're
are
using over
using
time.
it every day. Just you are just you mindless, right? And just using it because this is something you use every day, and you don't really
Right.
know
And
about the damage and then it potential.
yeah, yeah, sometimes your body isn't able to excrete all of the product from your body. And so parabens would be one recommendation. Another would be phthalates. Um, and so phthalates, I think, are really interesting because they're a group of chemicals that are used oftentimes in plastics. Like they're used to make plastics more durable and more flexible. And they're used in beauty products as a binding agent. And so you might find phthalates in things like your moisturizer, your body lotion, your soap.
Does it make the products feel like it's more smooth or soft here, or what does it do?
Yeah, so it helps to actually lubricate other ingredients to make them, I guess, applied smoothly.
Yeah.
And so that's something that I think that people should really look out for, because phthalates have been known to be endocrine disruptors. So again, there's a hormonal impact that this ingredient is having, and it also affects your reproductive system. So, and they are really prevalent in the US market. You can find phthalates in products from like nail polish, and I mentioned your body lotion or moisturizer, your foundation, toothpaste, deodorant. So that's the second one to look for.
I also want to share with you is like I love doing my nails, right? So it's one thing that I used to do it all the time, like never, no breaks, and I just kept changing colors because that's something that what I do. But then I started growing some kind of lump on my hand, on my palm, like this, and then I went to the doctor. So basically, it's nothing like big, like very serious, but it just keeps growing bigger and bigger. It becomes inconvenient. So the doctor basically used the needle to take out the liquid inside, so it goes like smaller, shrinks, but then it will come back again, like after a few months. Then I need to do it again and again. So to be able to stop this totally, I needed to have a like surgery to take out the whole thing. And I didn't want to do that. I thought, okay, I would just go for the treatment once in a while, in several months. But one thing I noticed during pandemic, because we stopped going to these beauty places and nail places, and these things stopped growing. So that is, I was just so amazed, like, wow, I understood before, like, the hair coloring things, like this nail polish, like you mentioned before, like they are, they really have some damages, but I did not know that was the reason. So I just realized, wow, that was the reason that caused my problem. So yeah, it is
Wow.
really big. Yeah.
That's fascinating. And you might take it for granted something as simple as nail polish. You're not using it on a large part of your body. You may take for granted what the impact is over time. So, wow, I'm amazed that you were able to make that correlation. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's just like when you start to realize, just paying like we do with our foods and nutrition, we pay attention to our body, like noticing the differences. And I think that's a great starting point with these toxic products as well. It's like with the products that we use every day, because the fact is like I basically I just used it all on the time, like no breaks. I never give it a break. Like, okay, it's time for my nails. I just went out for my nails, And I knew, even, I knew that there was harm for doing so, but I was just like, it's more important to have beautiful nails. So yeah, so it's definitely a big thing, and it's definitely something that we do need to pay attention to. Yeah.
Yeah, and nobody knows your body better than you do,
Absolutely.
right? So you look out for the cues. Your body is constantly trying to tell you what it needs, what it needs less of and what it needs more of. And it's important to listen and to advocate on behalf of ourselves and our bodies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So you were talking about those two ingredients. What is the third one?
Yeah, so the third ingredient, and this might be a doozy for some people, but just, in an effort to keep it really straightforward, fragrance would be number 3 for me. And the fragrance you can find in so many products. But the reason why I encourage people to get curious about fragrance in their products is that something that you may think that I thought for a long time was that when I read an ingredient list and I see the word fragrance, I just assumed that's one ingredient, right? That's one ingredient in many ingredients on the list. But actually, I came to find out that fragrance is used more as an umbrella term. So there is a lack of transparency with a lot of companies that are producing personal care and beauty products, where they list fragrance, but we never know if this is a naturally derived fragrance,
Right.
if it's a synthetic fragrance, and also we don't know if it's one ingredient that went into making that fragrance, or if it was hundreds of ingredients that went into making that one fragrance. So I encourage people to just get a little more curious about, fragrance as the third ingredient to maybe avoid. So a personal example that I can think of for me was with mascara. I have probably tried every mascara on the market, like always chasing longer, fuller lashes. And I've used products from, drugstore products to higher end designer mascara products. And there was this time where I was using mascara that it was effective. It did exactly what it was advertised to do. And I wasn't wearing it every day, but on the days that I did wear it, I was experiencing one of my eyes would water. It would get watery, and then it was like I was crying out of one eye uncontrollably. And I just assumed maybe I have seasonal allergies. Maybe there's more pollen in the air. I never stopped to think, what am I doing differently? What did I use or put on my body today that
is different.
I did yesterday? And there's fragrance, like I said, in everything, even mascara. So I don't know if that was the specific ingredient that gave me that reaction. But, you know, we have fragrance in our laundry detergent and our moisturizers.
It's everywhere, really. Just they make it
Everywhere.
smell good, smell better, so you want to use it just for the smell. Yeah, like you said, probably lots of times they make it, they combine different kinds of chemicals to create something like unique smell, right?
Exactly.
And then especially when it comes to perfume, for example, right? So there are
Mhm.
so many different kinds of, you know, the smell. And I personally, I did not do a study about like what are the ingredients in each one, but I just imagine it's probably very complicated process, you know.
It is. And that's, I think, where curiosity will play a big role. You know, if you get curious about the products that you have on hand that maybe are mostly clean, uh, and maybe it's a non-negotiable for you. Maybe it's a body spray or a lotion that you've been using for years and it's like your signature scent and you're just not ready
Mhm.
to give it up yet. Maybe just dig a little deeper and you know, make sure that you're comfortable with the information that you uncover. If the fragrance is mostly naturally occurring, maybe that's okay for you. If it's mostly synthetic, then maybe you don't wear it every day. Maybe you spray that body spray on yourself when you're fully clothed, and so it's not, you know,
Mhm.
directly on your skin. Again, I don't want this to be a stressful process for people, and I don't want it to be an all or nothing. You can gradually make the change to cleaner products, or you could use mostly cleaner products and still keep some of the staples that you know and love. That's okay too. Do what works best for you and what feels good to you.
That's really a wonderful suggestion. Yeah, just like eating, just like changing to healthier eating style or eating habit is like you don't want to change all at once because it's going to be so overwhelming, and then you will end up probably giving up because it's too much to handle at one time. Just we use the concept of crawl out, right? You just
Mhm.
gradually introduce new things, healthy things into your diet. Same thing with the product as well. I really love what you said.
Exactly.
Like if something is not so safe, probably just use it not directly on your skin, right? You use the one you are having clothes on, and it probably much safer. I think that's a wonderful suggestion. So what I just love what you shared. It's just so important. What are some tricks and tips and then you can share with us when it comes to safer products?
Sure. So a couple of things that I would share, some resources that or tools that you can use that are always at your disposal to kind of help you along in the process, and then just suggestions for a couple of products if you're curious about maybe flirting with the idea of trying out some cleaner products. Again, you don't have to throw out all of your cosmetics and start fresh. For me, I would recommend switching out your mascara, switching out your lip products. So lipstick, lip gloss, lip liner, chapstick, because we actually ingest a lot of the product that we put on our lips. And then the third would be our moisturizer. So if you use a daily moisturizer or if you use a body wash, I would look at those products. Maybe start there, and switch out your drugstore brand mascara for a cleaner option. Because you do want to be conscious about the products that you're putting close to your eyes, because those chemicals are getting into your bloodstream. What you're putting on your skin is going directly into your bloodstream. And then on your lips, you are ingesting a lot of that product.
Yeah, it's just
Anytime you lick your lips.
yeah.
Mhm.
So when these things like goes into your body, the scary part is they stay there, right? They don't they don't disappear. So that causes lots of, because it's really foreign thing for our bodies, that our body is not made to absorb those things. So it's really very scary when you think about it, is you constantly put those chemical things in your body and it just stays there and it accumulates, and then one day, it's going to be a lot harmful, right? Because the accumulation of toxins.
Yeah, and our bodies are so amazing in being able to detoxify and eliminate a lot of these ingredients, these chemicals from our bodies. But like you said, over time, some of these chemicals are going to build up and our body isn't going to be able to secrete them like they would normally. So it's definitely something to consider. As far as tools that you can use, there are some great websites and apps that you can use. A few that I turn to and you may be familiar with. The first one would be the EWG, the Environmental Working Group. They actually have an app and a website that's called Skin Deep, which is specifically for beauty and cosmetic products and personal care products, where you can just type in the name of a product and it will rate the product from 1 to 10. So that you have an idea of, 1 being the best and the safest for you and 10 being the worst. And, if you choose to use that, it ideally in a perfect world, it would be great if all of your products could be in the 1 to 2 range. But I like to be a little more fluid and say that even if it's a product that is in the 3 to 4 to 5 level range, if you're switching out a product that you find was rating at a 10 and you find something that is a little safer to switch out and it is being rated at a 4 or a 5, I say you're ahead of the curve there. Like you're doing great. It doesn't have to be a perfect 1. So that's a great useful tool. And then there's an app called the Think Dirty app. I don't know if you've heard of that, but you can enter the barcode of a product. So if you're out, at the drugstore, if you're out Sephora and you just want to know, is this product safe for me before I commit to it, you can scan the barcode and receive information on the product and its ingredients.
Wow,
so
that's incredible. So the app is actually designed for the purpose of seeing if it's more safer, something like that. It's right.
Yeah, so it could, you can decide for yourself. Let's say, for example, like these are non-negotiables for me. I will not use a product that has formaldehyde in it. Let's say, for example, and you can scan the barcode and you can receive the information regarding the ingredients. And if you spot that ingredient on the list, then right then and there, okay, well, this product isn't for me right now at this time. And you can move on and find something that is more suitable for you. So those are 2 tools that you have at your disposal, at your fingertips at all times. So anytime that you may find yourself questioning a product and whether or not it's cleaner or safer or non-toxic, I would encourage you to use those tools.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. It's just so important, and we do need those kind of informations, the tools that we can use to help us to really look up things and started learning. Started really gaining ideas about the products that we buy or we use. It's just so important. Thank you so much for being here today, and I just love all the tips and the knowledge and your experience and shared with us. And I'm going to put on the information about the website and the apps on the description later, so people can understand it more in detail. If people want to follow you on social media, how they can find you?
Yeah, so I would say that Instagram would be a great way to get in touch. I can be found at, it's Sandra Michele, and that is Michelle spelled with 1 L. And please feel free to visit send me a DM, ask me a question. I would love to join you on your journey to safer and cleaner beauty products.